You read the title. Here are 8 incredibly simple things you can do to rank a little bit higher, regardless of your skill set or your technical ability. Let's get right into it. To talk about is Google My Business, and you can go to this link right here and you can sign up your business. And this isn't actually going to necessarily make you rank higher. However, it is going to allow for people to leave reviews for you on Google for whatever your business does, as well as it's going to make it so that you can show up in your local area. So if somebody, in my case, is looking up web design in the Toronto area, I can then show up because I have my My Business listing that you see here. So step number 1, sign up for Google My Business. Super easy. It'll take you 15 minutes. They might take a few days to verify you, but that's a-okay. And now let's move on to tip number 2. So one thing that you can do, and this will make a difference to your SEO, is you can build up local citations like Yelp or Crunchbase, sites like that. Just go in your local area and type in maybe a very popular restaurant, something like that, and look at all the places that they're listed. And then you can go there and you can create an account and you can sign up, and you can list your own business. However, if you're lazy and you'd rather just pay, you can use something like Fat Joe. I'm not shouting out Fat Joe. This is just the one that I happen to use. There's a ton of these different services and they just go and do it for you. So that will save you a ton of time. And it also means that if somebody looks up your name, you will fill the search engine result page with more content surrounding your business as opposed to other people that are trying to rank for those same keywords. So that's pretty cool. So sign up, get some local citations because, for example, they will also have a backlink, and a backlink is very important for your SEO. So having old content on your site is going to do very, very little for you. For example, here you can see Forbes has this article on SEO strategies, but they've left it as titled for 2022, and Google wants to show the most relevant content possible. So if you have 2022 in there, you're not going to be shown unless it's in 2022, and time of recording this is 2024, so that's not going to be very helpful for you. So what I recommend you do is if you have any old content based on a date, update it so that it is relevant to 2024 or whatever year you're watching this in, and that will give that content a boost on Google. Also, if, for example, if you had a link and it ended with like /2024 blog post or something, and let's do 2022 for example, if you had something like this on your website, if you had a page like that, well, one of the problems is that Google will do the exact same thing and it will change and it will punish you for having that in your URL. So if you have that in your URL, change it. If you have something like for 2022 or in a earlier year in your title, change it. Something very simple you can do to increase your ranking for that content. So let's talk about new content. So when you're creating new content, what you want to do is you want to go to a keyword generator, something like this. This one's free. That's why I'm showing you this. It's from Ahrefs. And what you can do is, for my business, I do web design, as I said. I could type in web design in here for United States and I could go find keywords. It's going to ask me to verify I'm a human. And then what it's going to do is it's going to give me some keyword options. And you're going to see keyword KD stands for keyword difficulty. And you can see some of these are hard, medium, and you can see all this. And you can see volume is the amount of searches, and then the last time it was updated. And what you can do with this information is you can play around with this keyword generator tool and try to find a keyword that has a lot of volume and a low keyword difficulty. Just try and play with different things that surround your business. And once you do that, what you want to do is you want to take that keyword and you want to create blog posts, preferably long form, that has that keyword inside of it a few times. Don't alliterate in there too much. Don't make it be every other word. However, that's what I would do if I was to try to rank a bit higher, because then what that'll do is, especially if they have a low keyword difficulty, it'll be easy for you to get on the front page of Google. So that's how I would create content. There are nowadays in 2024 tools that can help you create content a little bit faster. I won't talk about that, but if you know what I'm saying, then you know. So yeah, create lots of content. So now let's talk about titles. The title tag on your site is what will show up on Google. So for example, this is the homepage of my site, and if I click here, this will go to that. And my page title or title tag is called Fabled Web Solutions, Web Design, and SEO. So that's the title of my page. And if you're using WordPress, for example, the main header on your page is what is used for your title. If you're using Shopify, it's automatically generated. And if you use Webflow, because Webflow, they want to make it so that everything's under your control a lot more than other content management systems, you have to manually set it in the page settings. However, it's not a big deal. But the main thing that really matters is that when you make your title tag is you want it to be around 50 to 60 characters in length. And the reason being is that if you go over that, it'll get truncated, and that's not good. You don't want that. So make sure on each of your web pages, do it for all of them, you have a title tag. So back here on the same search engine result page, if what I'm highlighting right here, the text that is shown below the title tag is what we call your meta description. And what the meta description is for is it's just a brief description of what is on the page. So you will see that with all these different pages that are below, and you can see this for each page that is also being shown for my website here. What you need to make sure of with this is that they are below 160 characters in length. Anything above that, it's going to get truncated. Some of them, even shorter ones, will still get truncated if they're shown as a site link down below your actual result, but I digress. You need to make sure they're shorter than that. If you're on WordPress, no meta descriptions are included. You have to manually set them for each page. It's pretty easy. If you're on Shopify, it'll be automatically generated from the content of the page. However, you can go manually set it yourself. And if you're on Webflow, for example, the descriptions are not manually generated. If you don't generate, or if you don't create one, then you won't have one. It's important you have one, because if not, it'll just take text from your site, and oftentimes it won't be very appealing. It'll hurt your click-through rate, and therefore it'll hurt your search engine result. Also, try to make sure that you have the keyword. If it's a blog post, for example, that you created for a certain keyword, make sure that you use that keyword within the meta description. So now let's talk plugins and sitemaps. So a lot of content management systems like WordPress or Wix or Shopify, they have plugins for SEO. And one of the main things that a lot of these plugins technically tend to do is create you something called a sitemap. So I'm going to show you one here. So this is one for my site. I know this looks cryptic. Don't panic. This is just effectively what it is it just shows the search engine all of the pages that are on the site. So you can go to xml-sitemaps.com and you can generate one, or if you're using whatever content management system you're using, like WordPress, for example, has the Yoast SEO plugin, and Webflow makes you one by default, I believe, if memory serves me correctly. So just Google if you need a plugin for your content management system to create a sitemap. But effectively what we want is we want a sitemap to be on your website. So if I go to my website again, I can then go to, I called one of them server sitemap. So you can see that this is like a web page on my site. And here I can see this is the one where I put all my blog posts, for example. So we want to make sure you have one of these, because that's important going into our last tip, which is using Google Search Console. So lastly, let's talk about Google Search Console. And what Google Search Console does is it's a tool effectively that lets you see some of your search analytics just within the Google search engine, but almost all searches through Google, so that's where you want to start. And it also will notify you if there's any problems on your site. If pages break, anything like that, they'll send you an email notification to let you know, because those things are going to hurt your SEO. So if I go in here, you can go to that link. You can see my site's performance. But what you want to do is you want to get an account, get logged in, register your site, and then go to Sitemaps. And then you want to put in whatever the URL of your sitemap is. So that's what you want to put here. So yeah, that's really the basics of Google Sitemap. It'll do a whole lot more than that when you first log on. You can view keyword performance, stuff like that. But again, this video is supposed to be for absolute beginners, so let's not touch on that too much. What you need to do is just make sure that you get signed into Google Search Console, make an account, and get your site registered with it. And then with the sitemap that you either created with a plugin, it was created by default for you, or you used that generator I was showing you. You can, all of those are good options as long as you have one. That's all that matters. So if you've applied all of these tips to your website, this will put you ahead of 90% of businesses out there, because most businesses don't do anything for their SEO, and most agencies that charge a ton of money for SEO won't even do these things. So just keep that in mind. If you can apply all of these things, you will be in good shape long term. It will take a little while, especially if you have a brand new site. Don't expect to see results for, I even want to say like a year. But yeah, just keep that in mind. So if you found this video helpful, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. It really helps me out. And yeah, have a good day.